Bonjour everyone, I'm your humble French tarot reader Marine, and today we're going to be doing your April 2025 monthly tarot guidance, tarot reading. We're going to look at the month ahead, what are the energies of the month ahead for you, what you're invited to focus on, potential challenge and potential blessing of the month. I love doing those monthly readings on my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in and allowing me to read the cards for you. If you don't know how pick a card reading works, in front of you you can see 3 different piles. All you need to do is intuitively choose the pile that is calling out to you the most, and I will be sharing with you some ways where you can choose the pile. Then in the description box you're going to find timestamps that can take you straight to your reading. In the description box you will also find all the names of the decks I'm using today. I've got plenty of decks. I'm using tarot decks, oracle decks, so you'll find all that information down there, as well as the name of my second channel, The Waves of Your Soul, where I share with you my passion for the cards. So the way you can choose the pile for you is thanks to an animal and thanks to one card. I shuffled the deck and then one card came up, and so that's what we're going to be using. So for my pile number 1, you can choose thanks to this absolutely adorable Rhino, which looks like this. I actually brought this back from South Africa last year and it's very cute. So that's the animal associated to my pile number 1. And for my pile number 1, the card that came up to help you choose is the Queen of Pentacles. So if the Rhino or this particular card is calling out to you at this moment in time, then your message could be in pile number 1. For my pile number 2, the animal associated is the turtle, and this is actually made out of Botswana agate. So that is the animal for my pile number 2. And for my pile number 2, the card that came up was the Ace of Pentacles, which looks like this. So if this particular card or the turtle is resonating with you right now, then your message could be in pile number 2. For my pile number 3, the animal associated is the penguin. Another one I brought back from South Africa. Look how cute. I love this little guy. So that's for my pile number 3. And for my pile number 3, the card associated is the Fool. That's the card that jumped up. So if this particular card or the penguin is calling out to you at this moment in time, then your message could be in pile number 3. If you need a little bit more time to choose, then you can pause the video. I invite you to take some deep breaths, unclench your jaws, relax your shoulders, just come back to your body, reconnect with the waves of your soul. And for everyone else, I will see you in your readings starting now. Okay, my pile number 1, welcome to your reading. If you chose the Rhino as an animal, or if you chose this particular deck, which is actually called the Children of Litha Tarot, it's absolutely gorgeous, it's animal based with a touch of fantasy, then this is going to be the reading for you. I'm so excited to be reading the cards for you today. We're going to start things a little bit differently. We're going to start with your oracle cards and then we'll move on to tarot. So I wanted to switch things up today. I try and make all of my monthly readings a little bit different. Some pre-pulled oracle cards I've not yet looked at, and then we'll move on to tarot. So let's have a look for my pile number 1 for April. What can we get already with your oracle cards? We have Match with the butterfly milkweed, and this is linked to where do I give and receive. Okay. And then we have Cleanse, beautiful, and we have Space. Okay, interesting already. Cleanse and Space, there could be a strong instinct for my pile number 1 to do some serious spring cleaning in April, to declutter, to make space, to get rid of stuff. This could translate as literally physically going through your closet, cleaning out what you don't use anymore, cleaning out what you don't want anymore, making space in your home, getting rid of stuff, donating stuff, repurposing stuff, recycling stuff, maybe repurposing clothes, maybe donating stuff to charity, maybe going through the drawers. You know, we always have one of those like dreadful drawers in our home that we pile stuff in and we never really take the time to clean it. Maybe this is the month where you guys decide to do that. Some of you could be tempted to get your paperwork in order. You know, all the admin like health insurance and car insurances and bank papers and getting just stuff in order, decluttering, organizing, getting your life a little bit more organize. There's a really strong desire from my pile number 1 to both make space, cleanse, declutter, as well as I'm hearing organizing, feeling more like you've got your feet on top of the ground, if that makes sense, through your idea of decluttering, of cleansing, of cleaning, of making space, of donating stuff, of going through your papers and your belongings and your attic and everything like that. This is going to create a sense of productivity and a sense of well-being for my pile number 1 that will make you guys feel more grounded. I have a sense that potentially for my pile number 1, the month of March was a little bit chaotic. And so now, through this act of cleansing, cleaning, decluttering, like I was saying, all of those things, of the very potentially boring but necessarily life admin stuff that we need to do from time to time, this act of getting on top of things that potentially are things that you guys have been procrastinating for a little bit, this act will actually make you feel a lot more settled down and grounded than the month of March. So I see that as being something very productive and very conducive to a sense of better well-being, feeling more on top of things, feeling more organized, and feeling a little bit less like you are moving through quicksand, right? So this is also a way for some of you to regain some control over some potential chaotic situation. So that's very day-to-day, but it needs to be done. Sometimes we all need to go through our stuff, organize, clear out, go through our to-do list, send the papers and the emails, make the phone call, book the doctor appointment, all of those things that we postpone and procrastinate, that we are like, yeah, I'll do it later. In the month of April, my pile number 1 is like, you know what, later is now. I'm gonna tackle my pile of stuff I've been thinking about doing. I'm gonna finally go through all my clothes that I know I need to declutter. I'm gonna finally fix all of the stuff around my home that I know needs fixing. I'm gonna finally go through my pictures and organize them, and go through my computer files and back up everything I need to back up. I'm gonna go through my paperwork and get my finances in order. That's the vibe. It's giving very Virgo vibes, and it's conducive to, like I was saying, a sense of groundedness, of well-being, which I think will be very helpful for the rest of the month. So you know what? We love that. The other thing super important with this idea of where do I give and receive means that there's going to be an energetic shift for my pile number 1. I think you're going to really feel that in April, where you're going to be a lot more conscious about where you spend your energy, and you're going to be very much more conscious about where you pour intention, where you pour time, where you pour effort, where you pour money, where you pour intention. And I see my pile number 1 really making sure that where they pour their money, time, effort, attention is only in places and in people and in situations that feel like a vibrational match. So I would not be surprised if for some of you, you really feel an energetic shift where you feel like there are certain things that you don't want to do anymore because you're realizing it's a waste of your energy, a waste of your time. For some of you, it's going to be certain relationships and connections that you're realizing are no longer a vibrational match. So again, I would not be surprised if there's a cleansing and a cleaning even in your interpersonal relationship. Maybe you're realizing this particular person you're talking to, you feel like it's just draining your energy and you're not getting anything in return. Or for some of you, it's a habit. You're realizing that a certain habit you've taken up is not conducive to your well-being. You feel like you're pouring a lot of energy into it and it's not giving anything back. I'm going to give an example that a lot of people can relate to. Maybe for the time you spend on social media, for example. So I would not be surprised if some of you feel called to do a little bit of a offline time and decide that in the month of April you want to step away from social media and stop spending so much time on it and reclaim your time and your energy to do other things that bring you more joy, that bring you more fulfillment. So it's not just a cleansing of space and decluttering your clothes and organizing your stuff. It's also looking at the people around you, the habits you have, the hobbies you have, the daily acts that you sustain, and making sure that they are conducive to your well-being and getting rid of or stepping away from the ones that are no longer a match, right? A vibrational match. So really it's an energetic shift for my pile number 1, and it's very much linked to this idea of spring. We're stepping into a new chapter, stepping into a new season. And so my pile number 1 is ready to commit to things and people who are more attuned to their vibes, to their energy. And in order to do that, you're willing to make space, to declutter, or to step away from things or people who are no longer feeling like you are receiving as much as you're giving. So I love that. I think it's a very powerful act and a very powerful intention for my Palme one. It's like you're reclaiming your time, you're reclaiming your energy, you're reclaiming your money. And I think the month of April is going to be very powerful for your rest of the year overall, in the sense of you really realizing where you are wasting time, energy, intention, and where you want to actually pour energy, time, and intention. And that is a powerful shift. So I love that for my pile number one. We're going to continue and see what your tarot cards say. And it's interesting actually that you picked the Queen of Pentacles, because the Queen of Pentacles is the queen at knowing exactly where should I pour my time, where should I pour energy, where should I pour my money, and on the contrary, where should I step away from spending time, spending money, spending energy. So I'm not surprised you chose this card, because it's very much aligned with this idea of reclaiming your power, feeling more grounded and feeling more on top of things and back in control over your life. So I love that for you guys. So let's pull some cards around what should be your main goal for April, my Palme one. What should be your main goal for the month? I think we have a jumper already. We have, look, so exactly, we have the Four of Pentacles. One of your main goals, and we'll pull another card, really is around doing a certain inventory of your resources. And it's interesting because I think it was when I did my spring 2025 reading, when I did for each of the zodiac, I did a spring reading, and there was one sign, there was actually a couple of signs that had for their spring theme, so March, April, May, there were strong themes around decluttering, around making space, around reorganizing, around getting on top of your resources, your time, your investments of energy, etc. And so if you watch my spring 2025 and that message was there as well for your sign, definitely this is a reinforcement. But anyway, with the Four of Pentacles, one of your main goals really is around paying attention to your resources. And resources could be money, but it could be your physical energy, time, right? Time is a resource, intention is a resource, attention is a resource, energy is a resource. So it's really around making sure that where you spend your energy and with whom you spend your energy is a vibrational match. And again, like we've talked about, some of you are going to feel very called to step away from certain relationships, step away from certain habits, remove some stuff, remove themselves from situations, or declutter things and habits and rituals and people from their life, because you're realizing this is no longer a match. I feel like I'm giving and I'm not receiving as much. And so in April, my Palme one is feeling a lot more conscious about making sure that the energy, the time, the money that they're spending is conducive to their well-being and is around things or people or situations that are making them feel well, fulfilled, joyful, abundant, and all of those things. So this is really a confirmation of everything we've talked about. Let's see what else. What else is the other main goal for my pile number one? We have the Queen of Wands. There's also a reclamation of power, which I've been talking about for you guys. It's coming from, because you're making space, because you're stepping away from things or people that are no longer a vibe, that are no longer a match for you, because you are deciding to make space in your home, because you're deciding to get your stuff together, get on top of all the things you've been potentially postponing, and finally like tackling things and feeling more organized. From that, there's also a reclamation of your power, and that leads to a sense of a renewed sense of confidence of like, wow, I did all of that. I feel a lot more confident in my abilities. I feel a lot more on top of things. I feel a lot more in control, but also I feel a lot more empowered. And that is going to be conducive to a renewed sense of creativity for a lot of you, as well as more time to spend on things and people who make you feel alive. With the Queen of Wands, it's an invitation to pour your energy and efforts into the hobbies and the activities and the relationships that make you feel passionate, that make you feel confident, that make you feel powerful, that make you feel badass, that make you feel sexy, and all of those things, right? So with the Queen of Wands, there's an invitation as well to embrace this inner fire, and from the space you're creating, from stepping away from the things or people that are no longer a match, you're able to focus on the things that you feel passionate about. And that's also very exciting because it means that a lot of you will have more time for your hobbies, or you'll have more time to spend on the people that you actually want to see, or you'll have more time to focus on the things that make you feel alive, right? On the project, your passion projects, your creative projects, your manifestations, your desires. So that's beautiful, and that's also what you're invited to focus on in April, my pile number 1. We're gonna have a look at potential challenges for you guys. What are the potential challenge of the month of April for my pile number 1? Okay, yeah. The cards are reading themselves. I don't have to do very much. With this 8 of Cups, the challenge is gonna be really focused around the hardship that can come from removing yourself from situation and relationships and habits that you know deep down are no longer good for you, and yet that can sometimes feel like it's hard for you to walk away from. So potential challenge is gonna be around you committing to walking away from the habits, the situations, the relationships that are no longer feeling like an energetic match for you. As walking away from things or from people or from habits, it's not easy. Otherwise, everybody would be doing it and nobody would be having bad habits. And yet we all know that walking away and leaving things behind and starting fresh, it's not necessarily always easy, right? Decluttering is not necessarily, cleansing is not necessarily easy. Looking at relationships and being honest enough with oneself to realize that this person is no longer good for me, that's not easy. Looking at one's habits and realizing that this particular habit is not conducing to our well-being, that is not easy. Otherwise, everybody would be doing it, and yet not everyone does that. So walking away is not necessarily an easy thing to do, and yet it's a powerful thing to do. That's going to be your potential challenge, my pile number 1, for the month of April. It's going to be around 1, being honest enough with yourself to have the hard conversation with yourself and realizing, okay, you know what, this that I'm doing is no longer a match for me, or this person is no longer a match for me. As well as not just being honest with yourself, but being confident enough in yourself to know that through that process, on the other side of it, there's this Queen of Wands waiting for you, meaning more creativity, more passion, more confidence. So that's the challenge. The challenge is going to be around trusting yourself enough to walk away and being honest enough with yourself to have those kind of tough conversations with yourself around, okay, where do I give and where do I receive, and where do I need to potentially make some adjustments and make this inventory of my life. And that's not, like I said, easy, but it's a powerful exercise and experience for my pile number 1. Okay, what is the potential blessing of the month of April for my pile number 1? Potential blessing. Look, potential blessing is with this 3 of Pentacles here, I see abundance. I see realizing that you have more than you think. So for a lot of you, it's realizing that there's some resources around you that you potentially have forgotten about. I'm gonna give a silly example, but through some of you decluttering your stuff, for example, some of you could be making some money. You're selling some stuff that you no longer need in your home, and you're making some extra cash, and that makes you feel abundant, and now you can pay for something that you didn't think you could afford, and there's a sense of abundance there. With the 3 of Pentacles, we also have an idea of, if I take that up related to your energetic shift and in terms of energy and where you spend your time and your intention, the blessing could be by you removing yourself from habits that are no longer a match. You're getting more time to focus on the things that you want to grow, the seeds that you want to plant, the dreams that you have, the projects that you're actually passionate about, and you're able to grow things that are actually going to be sustaining you for a long time. So there could be more time for your passion projects, more time for your career, more time for your family, whatever you guys want to focus on. This is also an indication that this is going to be conducive to your growth, your abundance. So we love that. That's a big potential blessing for my pile number 1. We also have the Queen of Swords that jumped out, and this is for my pile number 1. Beautiful that she's here. We have 2 queens. She's here to show you that in April, you are reclaiming a sense of trust in yourself, and a lot of you are going to feel very proud at your ability to analyze, observe, categorize, understand, clarify, organize, and feel just a lot more, like I was saying, on top of things. Feel like you're back in control. Feel like you're being the captain of your own ship. Since a lot of you have been craving this feeling of control, have been feeling like potentially life was slipping through their hand, life was chaotic, they were stepping on uneven ground, potentially even in quicksand. And in April, you're able to reclaim your power, to feel a lot more stable and a lot more powerful. That comes from your ability to make certain decisions, to trust yourself, to have certain conversations, to be decisive, to be clear-minded, clear-sighted, right? Like the Queen of Swords, to make the decisions that need to be done. And from that comes a sense of inner strength and a sense of pride that I think is super important. So very powerful month for my pile number 1 in the sense of you reclaiming your power and feeling just a lot more in control, like you have the reign again. Okay, we'll pull a little advice from my pile number 1 for tarot, and then we'll move on to some last oracle cards. Let's see what else we have. Look, on the other side of this big inventory and decluttering effort and commitment to walk away from things that no longer are a match, and a commitment to kind of really take inventory of your life and doing that work that we've talked about. On the other side of that, there's acceleration, there's movement, opportunities, things are moving, things are accelerating, and it's almost like you're preparing for expansion, my pile number 1. So this is an exciting time. It means that by you making space in your life energetically and physically, you're going to make space for things that you want. It means that you're going to be able to let the universe know you're ready to receive. Whether you're ready to receive love, abundance, excitement, passion, joy, whatever it is your desire, it's coming if you do that work that we've talked about, and that's amazing. And look, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Pentacles. He's your ally for the month. He's reminding you, you don't have to do all of that in one day. You've got the whole month. You don't have to declutter your own home in one day. You don't have to get your finances in order in one day. You don't have to figure out your relationships dynamic in one day or review your habits and ritual in one day. Take one step at a time. Be kind to yourself. Remain grounded. Remain soft. It's little steps will add up. You don't have to feel super stressed out about doing it all at once. Every single step will count. Every little steps will be pushing you towards the right direction. So he's inviting you to take your time and to take one step at a time, my pile number 1. Okay, let's have a look at what you're invited to focus on in the month of April. What should be like the areas where you should really focus on any kind of advice. Writing. Some of you have been thinking about writing. Maybe some of you have been thinking about journaling. Maybe some of you have been thinking about writing an email, writing to someone. For some of you, you might be writing a book even, writing your CV. This could be lots of different ways this apply, but writing is one of your main focus, my pile number 1. And let's see what else. Another focus point for my pile number 1 for the month of April. And we also have breathing. For me, this relates back to this idea of the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, there's a lot to be done, but you don't have to do it all in one day. Take your time, take time to breathe, take time to pause. You've got time. There's no rush. I'm hearing really from my pile number 1, there is no rush, right? So this is also, we also had the space card, and this for me, you know, when you're breathing, you're making space in your body, you're inhaling, exhaling, creating space within oneself. Maybe some of you are going to feel called to get into breath work. I'm also seeing that in my mind's eye, and maybe that's something that could be very beneficent for some of you to your well-being and to feeling again more grounded and more empowered. Okay, we're going to wrap things up with a couple of little self-care card and a little mantra. So little self-care card for my pile number 1. What do we have? Whoop. We have move your body, shake it out. Your body holds all your feelings. Let's move through them. So this is an invitation to move your body whichever way feels possible and comfortable for you. Obviously, not everyone is going to be able to do the same thing. Maybe for some of you, it's around going to the gym. Maybe for some of you, it's around stretching, dancing in your home, going for a walk. Whatever you can do, whatever is available to you, this can be your self-care exercise, self-care method for the month, moving your body. And that's beautiful. And we're going to wrap things up with a little mantra. You guys know it has to be done. The froggy is here. I have to. It's too cute. So the affirmation for my pile number 1 for the month of April, what do we have? I am a work in progress. Look, exactly. This is the Knight of Pentacles energy. One step at a time. You don't have to get everything done in one day. You're being kind to yourself. And yet look how happy they are. This is, you're leaping towards a new shift, leaping towards movement and opportunities. So I'm a work in progress is the mantra for my pile number 1 for April. I love that so much. Okay, so that's all I'm seeing for you guys. I hope you enjoyed your reading for the month of April. I definitely love doing this for you. So if you enjoyed it, if it brought you anything of value, I invite you to like, comment, subscribe. These are all free ways to support my work, and yet they really help my channel out. This is a beautiful exchange of energy. Thank you so much for those of you who take the time to do that. And until my next video, I'm wishing you a beautiful month ahead. I'm sending you so much good vibes, and keep navigating the waves of your soul. Bye! Okay, my pile number 2, welcome to your reading. If you chose the little turtle, or if you chose this deck, which is actually the newest deck in my collection at the time of me filming, I'm so excited to read with this for you guys, because this is called the Granny's Postcards, and it's made out of old vintage postcards, and it's super fun, super cute, and I'm really excited to read with it. So we're actually going to start with some oracle cards I've pre-pulled, I've not yet looked at, and then we'll move on to tarot. So let's have a look at your oracle cards for the month of April, my pile number 2. The first thing we have is a heel with the purple coneflower, and the question is, what is mending? Beautiful, okay. And then we have reflection, gorgeous. And the last card is magic, okay. Already by the colors, there's a strong kind of emphasis for my pile number 2 around your third eye chakra. So this is linked to your intuition, to your clairs. So everyone has clairs, doesn't matter whether you think you're intuitive or not. Everyone holds certain clairs, you just have to develop them, but everyone will have an affinity for whether that's clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience. Everyone can tap into their intuition through different ways. Maybe for some of you it's how you feel, maybe for some of you it's what you see with your intuition, maybe for some of you it's what you hear, etc, etc. There's going to be a very strong emphasis around your third eye chakra, your intuition developing, my pile number 2, your clairs developing. If some of you have not really been able to figure out which one of your clairs is stronger, this is the month where you're realizing, okay, this is my superpower, this is my intuitive capacity. A lot of you are able to really tap into this third eye chakra and feel a lot more aligned and connected to higher power, the universe, your guides, your angels, your ancestors, whatever you guys believe in. Very strong theme around third eye chakra, feeling more intuitive, feeling more connected to the universe, getting some downloads, seeing synchronicities, feeling more in tune with the great web of life. We also have the reflection card, obviously, meaning that this could be, and especially next to this heal card, what is mending? Some of you are in a healing process in April. Some of you have been in a certain healing journey. Spiritually, emotionally, you've been healing something in the last few months, maybe even last few years for some of you. And I think in the month of April, my pile number 2 is finally reaching a point where you're realizing, you know what, I finally feel like I am becoming a new person, like I'm healing this thing and I'm leaving this hurt behind, I'm leaving this disappointment behind, I'm finally healing that wound. And in my mind's eye, I'm seeing someone who was, you know, when you have like a scab, for example, you've cut yourself and someone keeps scratching, so the wound cannot heal properly. And in the month of April, and maybe that's what some of you guys have been doing metaphorically, there was a certain wound, it could have been a disappointment, a hurt, something you've been carrying, a heaviness in your heart, a past experience, whatever it is, and you've been picking at it, you know. And in the month of April, finally, this is the month where you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna put some balm on it, and I'm gonna let it heal, and I'm not gonna touch it anymore, and I'm just gonna let it be. And that's the month where you're finally putting something to rest, right? Something is mending, something is healing. The skin is healing metaphorically, and you're able to move on. That's why this reflection card is here. So there's also a sense of, in April, my pile number 2, realizing how much they have grown and how far they've come. And there's a sense of accomplishment for my pile number 2 of being like, finally, I've managed to walk away from this hurt, to mend this heartache, to heal this wound, to heal this trauma, or to finally be at peace with my shadow. Some of you have finally invited your inner demons for tea and you've listened to them, and now you're in a place where you feel a lot more at peace, a lot more at ease within yourself, within your soul. There's a sense of accomplishment and there's a sense of ease for my pile number 2 that's coming, and this is something you've been working on for a long time, and finally in April you see the hard work paying off. And like I said, there is a sense of easiness, a sense of flow, a sense of gratitude, and a sense of just being at peace with oneself and being a lot more aligned, and finally being like, you know what, I feel well, I feel aligned, I feel like I'm where I'm meant to be. In my mind's eye, I'm seeing a big sigh of relief. That's the vibe. If I had to describe the vibe for my pile number 2, it's like a sigh of relief. And I think a lot of you guys have been deserving that and waiting for this energy of relief, of inner peace, of finally a sense of accomplishment and of healing and of well-being, and it's coming in April, and we love that, especially in this chaotic world. Any time where we can feel finally at peace and healing and this sense of like well-being in our soul, this is something to protect as it's very sacred. So I'm so proud of you, my pile number 2, for getting there, because I know it's not easy, so please congratulate yourself for that. And I think you can expect a month that's very soft, gentle, kind, and beautiful, but we're gonna see what else comes through. But already I'm excited for you guys. Really beautiful energies, compassionate energy. Let's have a look at what should be your main goal for the month for my pile number 2. What should be your main goal? This is what you're invited to focus on the most. Look, it's so funny. We have the Four of Swords. Exactly. It's a time where you finally feel rested. You finally feel at peace. You finally feel like you can sigh, like I said, you know, a sigh of relief, and now you can enjoy. Now you can put your feet in the ocean and finally take a moment to enjoy life a little bit more. Maybe walking away from the struggle and the heartache and the sense of anxiety or burden you've been carrying, and now in the month of April there's a sense of ease, of enjoyment, of rest. So this is your main focus, this is your main goal. Enjoy yourself, take your time, rest, appreciate this sense of ease and of inner peace that you guys have worked hard for, because I really feel that in my soul that you guys have worked for it, and so now it's your time to enjoy it because you deserve it. Okay, beautiful. Let's see what else. What else are you invited to focus on, my pile number 2, in the month of April? We also have the Four of Cups. Again, reflection. It's a time of reflection. I would not be surprised if a lot of you feel called to journal, if a lot of you feel called to even maybe speak to someone that you trust, or maybe even speak to a counselor or therapist. And speaking to someone, or even writing to yourself in your journal, whatever works for you guys, doing this act of reflection will really help you realize how far you've come and realize how much you've healed and how much you have grown and how much you've changed. And that will also impact your intuitive abilities, your ability to trust in your third eye chakra, and your ability to trust your intuition, your gut instinct, and to reconnect with a sense of magic. So super, super beautiful energies for my pile number 2. Okay, what could be the potential challenge though for this month? For my pile number 2, potential challenge of the month for my pile number 2. What could be the potential challenge of April for my pile number 2? We have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, you know what I'm getting from this Six of Pentacles? He's calling for help, and yet you can see behind him, not that far away, the sand is there, right? So technically he doesn't have that far away to go to get back on the shore. It's not too far, and yet because he's turned away, he doesn't see that he's not so far. He's not stranded in the middle of the ocean. So maybe in his head he feels like, oh my god, this is terrible, this is a catastrophe, when really behind him the beach is not that far away and he could definitely make it. And so for me, this is representing this idea of sometimes when we've been going through difficult times and when we've been on survival mode for a while, we have a tendency to catastrophize and to sometimes wait for the other shoe to drop. Actually, when things are finally easing, when things are finally getting a little bit easier, it can be difficult to get away from the survival mode that we might have been on, and it can be difficult to realize that, okay, I can trust things to be getting better. I don't have to wait for the other shoe to drop. I can enjoy the present moment. I can finally relax. I can finally breathe. I don't have to feel like I constantly have to look behind my back for something bad to happen, or constantly have to, be on high alert. This is going to be the challenge for my pile number 2. It's going to be around making sure that you are giving yourself a chance to relax, to rest, and giving yourself a chance to leave behind the survival mode you might have been on for the last few weeks, last few months, whatever it may be. So it's an invitation to, like I was saying, potentially work on this instinct to wait for the other shoe to drop, to be on high alert. And that's going to take dedication and effort, right? This is around healing your nervous system as well. So maybe this is where some of you guys are being called to journal or speak to someone you trust, etc. But there's definitely going to be an invitation here to embrace the good times, to connect to the present moment, try and slowly but surely step away from this survival mode you might have had to be on for a while. Let's move on to what could be the potential blessings for the month of April. For my pile number 2, potential blessings, potential opportunities and doors opening. What do we have? King of Wands. Ooh, I love that. King of Wands, this opportunities for enjoyment, opportunities for empowerment, opportunities for a good time. Here we obviously see someone having fun with their family. So whatever ways that can translate to you guys, whatever you guys like to do for fun. Here we obviously see that this is something that is being shared with others. So maybe more fun times with your friends, more good times with your family or your partner, more good times spending time on your own doing things you enjoy, whatever makes you feel joyful, passionate, excited, alive. I see my pile number 2 really coming out of a hibernation time, and in the month of April you're feeling alive again, you're feeling joyful again, you're feeling like life has some beauty to offer, has some good times to offer, has some joy to offer. And that comes from you finally reaching a point where you feel like you're a lot more at ease, a lot more at peace with things. Some of you have forgiven as well yourself or others, and that is creating a sense of inner peace. Some of you are finally at peace with something you've done or something you've experienced, and you're deciding to no longer let that hurt or that person or that experience like drain your energy and affect you. And from that, the blessing really comes in the form of more enjoyment, more passion, more fun times. You're enjoying life again, that life feels good again, and that's amazing. There's a new sense of energy as well. If some of you have been feeling a little bit low energy, tired, just feeling like every day you wake up and it's getting a little bit hard to get through things, in the month of April, there's also a renewed sense of energy, a renewed sense of passion. I'm even hearing a renewed sense of sensuality. That's something that some of you have been struggling with. Maybe, I know that's very specific, but if some of you were feeling a little bit like not really connected to your sensual and sexual side, that's definitely reactivating in the month of April. Overall, it's really you're rekindling your inner fire. Let's see what else is coming through for blessings from my pile number 2. Oop. 8 of Wands. So things are accelerating, exactly. Finally, doors are opening, there's things going on, you're seeing some movement, you're seeing some opportunities. There's really a sense of, if some of you have been waiting for news, specifically waiting for green lights, waiting to hear about a loan, waiting to hear about a job offer, waiting to hear about someone, a proposition, an invitation, if you've been waiting for a green light, if you've been waiting for paperwork, whatever it may be, it's coming in April, and that's allowing you to take the next step. So some of you have been waiting for something that was outside of your control. Like I'm in my mind's eye, I'm seeing paperwork, I'm seeing like something needing to be approved or something that needed to go through a certain administrative process. in the month of April, you're hearing back from that. It's a green light, and now it's go, 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 right? So if you've been waiting for a message, some news, a paper or something like that, a contract, a loan, anything like that, in April, finally it's green light, and you're able to make a next step on your projects. You're able to finally put the chariot on and going for things and going full speed, putting the pedal to the metal, and that's exciting as well. So projects are accelerating. You're getting the green light for a lot of things, and again, movement is life, right? And you guys are reconnecting back to life. You're stepping away from hibernation back into an active kind of movement. So really, movement is also a big theme for my pile number 2. Things are picking back up. You're going from dormant stage to finally, okay, it's time to go. It's time to move. Beautiful. So we're gonna do a little advice. We'll move on to your last oracle card. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Any last advice from your guides? Before we move on, what do we have? Look, how beautiful, the Lovers. The Lovers is your guide for the month of April. My pile number 2, it's an invitation to really focus on the things and the people that bring you joy, but also to look at the world through a lens of love and to look at yourself through a lens of love, right? Because you've been on this healing journey. Like I said, I'm hearing forgiveness a lot. A lot of you are forgiving yourself, and that's powerful in itself, because a lot of you are realizing that there's a couple of things coming through. Some of you are forgiving yourself for letting yourself get hurt and realizing that it wasn't your fault, and realizing that you didn't deserve that, but it wasn't your fault anyway, and that you didn't do anything wrong. And another side of you are forgiving yourself for making a mistake, for potentially failing at something, and you're realizing, you know what, it wasn't a failure, it was a lesson, an experience, and next time I'll do better. And whatever side you are on, this forgiveness is also conducive to you finally being able to heal something, to move on, and to tap into your intuition and to feel a lot more alive, passionate, embrace this exciting energy for the month of April. Okay, I love that. And look, at the bottom of the deck, we have death. And that's also a beautiful energy, because there's going to be a before and after April for my pile number 2. There's going to be a before April where things might have been difficult and heavy. Like I said, some of you might have been feeling a little bit low energy, or like you were in hibernation mode. And there's going to be an after April where things are accelerating, things are moving forward. You're able to finally see some results. You're getting green lights. You're healing something. You're feeling a lot more at peace, a lot more in tune with your intuition. And so for me, there's really a before April and an after April for my pile number 2. And that's beautiful. I'm excited for you. Okay, so let's see what should be your focus areas for the month of April. If there's any kind of areas of your life you're invited to focus on for my pile number 2. Let's see. Whoop. Partnerships. So you know, we talked about relationship, we talked about forgiveness. Some of you are working on forgiving yourself, but others of you might be working on forgiving others. Some of you might be having certain healing conversations with people in your life that you've been postponing, and finally in the month of April, you're like, you know what, I'm going to reconcile, or I'm going to speak to them. Or some of you, I'm hearing, are also getting an apology. You've been waiting for ages for an apology, and you're getting it in April. And that's allowing you to heal. That's allowing you to move on. So your interpersonal relationship, your partnerships are going to be a big theme for the month of April, my pile number 2. And it's really linked to these things of healing, right? Which is beautiful. Let's see what else we have. And we have study. So some of you might be taking a course, going back to school, preparing an exam, preparing something. At work, you might be getting the opportunity to take a certificate. Maybe some of you are learning a new language. Maybe some of you are deciding to listen to certain podcasts, learn something new. If that's been on your mind, if you've been thinking about it, then this is definitely a green light. Whatever you've been thinking about studying, whatever course you've been thinking about doing, or study or learning you've been thinking about doing, go for it, as it could bring a lot of blessings and opportunities for you, okay? We're gonna wrap things up with a little self-care message and a little affirmation. So let's see. Self-care message. We have sculpt. Sometimes you need to take the abstract and give it a body. How can you take a feeling or idea and hold it in your hand? Beautiful. So that's your self-care message for the month of April, my pile number 2. And we're gonna wrap things up with your mantra for the month. Of course, I had to. You know, I'm obsessed with this little frog deck. I'm a French frog myself, so of course, we have to wrap it up with a little froggy friend. So, what is the affirmation? What is the mantra for my pile number 2? Look, my fears do not control me. Yes, I love that for you guys. Remember that you're a badass, you're fierce, you've got this. And honestly, I'm so excited for the month of April for my pile number 2 because it's gonna be a powerful month and I really feel a before and after April for you guys. That's all I'm saying for you. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought you something of value. If it did, don't hesitate to like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. Those are all free ways to support my work and they really are a beautiful exchange of energy and they really help my channel out. So thank you so much for those of you who take the time to do that. Thank you for being here, for your presence. I want to wish you a beautiful month of April ahead, and until my next video, I'm sending you so much good vibes and keep navigating the waves of your soul. Bye! My pile number 3, welcome to your reading. If you chose this adorable little penguin, or if you chose this deck, which is actually one of my favorite tarot decks ever. This is the Joe Sparrow Tarot, you guys. This is top tier for me in my tarot collection. Honestly, this might be top 1 tarot deck ever. I love this deck so much. And I realized I hadn't used it for you yet in a really long time. So we're remedying that today. And I'm so excited to use this for you as it is one of my favorite decks ever. So that's what we're going to be doing. But first, we're going to be using oracle cards that I've pre-pulled. I've not yet looked at them. We're going to discover them together. So let's have a look. What do we have for April for my pile number 3? We have Soothe with the river. Am I receiving peace? And look at this cute frog. It looks like it's seen some shit. I think we can relate. Yep. Am I receiving peace? Beautiful. Let's see what else we have. Love. Ooh, I love that for my pile number 3. Okay, and the last card is Illumination. Wow, okay. There's a big emphasis on both your heart chakra with the love card and the color pink and green, as well as with your solar plexus with this particular card. We have the sun image, we have like the sun symbolism here. So there could be a big focus around, obviously, with love, your interpersonal relationships this month, the love in your life, the people you love, the relationships around you, the connections you have. Maybe you're going to be called to spend more time with your friends, with your family, with your partner. If you're looking for someone, this could be a great time to date, to meet someone special, to fall in love, right? There's love in the air for my pile number 3. Cultivating the love in your life, whether that's through the love of your community, the love of your friends, the love of your family, the love of your romantic partners, or the love of yourself. As well as a big focus on with this illumination. Like I said, for me, it's going back to the solar plexus. So for me, we're going back to a sense of creativity, a renewed sense of passion, which is actually something that was the case for all 3 piles, I think, in April. I need to check the planets, but I feel like in April, there's a couple of like retrogrades that are ending, and that might be why collectively people are feeling a little bit more energetic, a little bit more passionate. It's feeling a little bit more easy to have ideas, feel creative. I think it will be the end of Mercury retrograde as well, if I'm not mistaken. So that could come with fresh ideas, fresh inspiration, new impulses, a renewed sense of creativity in your life. So far, all good things. And finally, with the river here and this idea of soothing, there's going to be a big focus around my pile number 3, which again was the case for another one of my pile. A big focus on taking care of yourself, of making sure you're not exhausting yourself, or taking time for self-care, taking time for healing, taking time for just feeling well, focusing on things, activities, habits, rituals, and relationships that make you feel soothed, that make you feel like your nervous system is relaxed. And that's definitely a way to counterspell the chaoticness that is being felt for the collective since the beginning of the year. Let's be honest, there's a lot going on collectively. Every time you open the news, there's a lot going on. It can feel stressful and feel like it's building our anxiety. So for my pile number 3, you're gonna feel very much a call to focus around cultivating a sense of peace cultivating a sense of well-being, and you're gonna really prioritize self-care, prioritize activities that are making you feel well, prioritize taking care of your body. I see a lot of you focusing on your physical health, moving your body, stretching your body, making sure you're getting a good sleep, making sure you're eating things that make you feel good, making sure you're hydrating, right? It's simple things. It doesn't have to be huge things, but you guys are gonna feel called to focus on those daily rituals that make you feel well, right? Finally, book certain appointments you've been thinking about doing to just check up, things like that, to take care of your body. Some of you are feeling called to take up some hobbies and activities that make you feel good, that make you feel at peace. I see the vibe. It's giving like cottagecore for my pile number 3. It's giving like spring cottagecore. You know, we associate cottagecore with autumn or winter normally, with the vibe of like sitting by a fire, being cozy and reading a book and all of that. For my pile number 3, that's the vibe, but make it spring. So it's the vibe of like lying in a field of meadows and reading a good book and drinking a nice orange juice that you've made yourself and like enjoying peaceful, simple things, maybe hanging out with your friends, spending quality time with your family, doing hobbies that make you feel good, spending time in nature. The vibe is giving like cozy spring. That's the vibe for my pile number 3. And you know what? I'm so here for it. That's definitely the vibe I would want to cultivate as well. So I love that so much. Okay. And it's interesting we have the river. Some of you might feel called to spend time near bodies of water, a river, the ocean. Some of you might feel called to take certain baths with salt, something in my mind's eye, to cleanse your body, to take care of yourself. There's really a big focus around self-care, around taking care of your body, taking care of your spiritual well-being, taking care of your mental health, and just cultivating a sense of good vibes, right? And again, and like I said, definitely a huge focus on love, interpersonal relationship. I really see some of you falling in love in April, and that's beautiful. If that's the case, then you'll have to let me know in the comments. You'll have to go back at the end of April and let me know, because that's exciting. Okay, let's have a look at your tarot cards. Let's see what should be the main goal of the month for you guys. Your main goal for April, for my pile number 3. Justice. Yeah, I'm not surprised Justice is here, because she represents equilibrium, she represents balance, and that's what you are striving for in the month of April, my pile number 3. You are doing everything you can to feel aligned, to feel exactly like this, perfect balance. For some of you, it's related to tackling your work-life balance. Some of you are taking time in the month of April to make sure you are not spending too much time at work, and maybe you're spending more time with your family or with your partner or with your friends. For some of you, it's around tackling the time you spend with others versus the time you spend with yourself. For my pile number 3, there's a big desire for equilibrium and balance. You're craving for a sense of alignment, or for a sense of feeling well. Everything feels fluid, everything is flowing just like the river, and nothing is pulling too much of your energy in one way or another. So you're removing yourself from places or situations that feel like it could be draining, feel like it could be heavy, feel like it could be chaotic. And on the contrary, you're really focusing on the things, activities, habits, relationships, rituals, daily rituals that are conducive to a sense of, like I said, well-being, a sense of fluidity, a sense of being in the flow, and definitely in line with everything we've talked about. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's see what else should be your main goal for the month. We have the 9 of Cups. So with the 9 of Cups, again, we're going back to the idea of prioritizing your happiness, prioritizing your joy, prioritizing your emotional well-being. Whatever you can do to feel good in yourself, to feel happy, to feel joyful, to feel hopeful. For some of you, it's going to be around spending time with the people that you love. For some of you, it's going to be making sure that you are taking care of your physical health. Like I said, that's what makes you feel good. For some of you, it's going to be around making sure you have time for your hobbies, to do things that make you feel happy and joyful. We're going back to this idea of cozy spring, right? like I'm going to call it Hobbit Spring, the vibe for my pile number 3. It's about spending good times with people, reading good books, taking care of oneself in nature, chilling, eating good food, and enjoying life's simple pleasure. That's the vibe. And your main focus, your main goal for the month should be to cultivate a sense of happiness, should be to cultivate a sense of well-being, because that's your job, that's your homework for the month, okay? And you know what? I love that. I love when the homework is be happy, do whatever you can to feel good. That's a beautiful homework. This is not a month to strive. This is not a month to push. This is not a month where you're gonna have to be facing your inner demons and, you know, working hard towards something. No, your only job this month is to enjoy what's around you, enjoy the people around you, enjoy yourself, be in the flow. And you know what? We love that. We love that. Okay, let's have a look at the potential challenge for the month. What is the potential challenge for my pile number 3? 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, some of you are gonna feel bad that you are taking time off, for example. Some of you are like feeling bad that you're maybe being a little bit less productive at work, or you're maybe working less on your certain projects, and maybe you're striving less toward your finances and your manifestations and your work project. For some of you, this potential challenge is around giving yourself 1 month to enjoy, to relax, to not strive, like I said, and not let that make you feel bad. You're allowed to enjoy yourself. You're allowed to feel soothed. You're allowed to feel at peace. You're allowed to feel loved and supported. And you're allowed to prioritize a sense of well-being and a sense of alignment over a sense of productivity and a sense of achievement. And yet for some of you, I sense that could lead to a certain feeling of guilt, right? Some of you might feel guilty for not striving, not pushing. And I'm not saying you're not going to go after your dreams and your goals in the month of April, but I'm just saying that I have a feeling that for a lot of you, that's not going to be your main focus. Your main focus is going to be to, like I said, cultivate a sense of well-being, of joy, spending time with the people you love, enjoying yourself, cultivating a sense of inner peace, taking care of your body. And that's what will bring a sense of abundance in your life. But sometimes, because we've been raised in a capitalistic society that prioritize productivity over worth, sometimes when we prioritize our well-being over what we are producing, what we're doing, it can make us feel guilty. So some of you are going to have to work on that, on this idea that just because you're not taking stuff off your to-do list, just because you're taking a day off, just because you are not doing anything productive today but taking care of yourself, doesn't mean you're not worthy. It doesn't mean you're bad, right? So it's about allowing yourself to have a day off, allowing yourself to chill, allowing yourself to be a little bit less harsh on yourself. And for some of you, the challenge is going to be around accepting that rest is productive as well. There's a sense of healing, this like idea that productivity equals your worth. For a lot of you, that's going to be the challenge you have to face this month, is accepting that you're taking time off, or accepting that you're slowing things down, and it doesn't make you less worthy of, or less successful, or less of a hard worker, or less whatever, fill in the blanks, right? So that's the challenge, is embracing this sense of pause, of relaxation, and not beat yourself up about it. You don't need a special occasion to take care of yourself and to rest and to give yourself the chance to enjoy life. You know, you can do that whenever you feel like it. You don't have to wait until you're exhausted or burnt out, right? Or you stretch yourself to the point where it's too much. So for some of you, it's going to be that challenge to not feel guilty about taking care of yourself. And that's actually a beautiful lesson to take into consideration. What is the potential blessing of the month for my pile number 3? Potential blessing. It's a sense of, again, alignment, of balance. Look at how this is a very interesting card, because she's standing in the middle of pots. Some of them are growing, some of them are broken, and she doesn't really care. She's just enjoying the plants, enjoying the air. She's enjoying life for what it is, and she doesn't feel like she has to fix everything to enjoy her garden. She can enjoy her garden just as it is, with its little broken things and its little imperfection. It doesn't have to be perfect for her to enjoy exactly what's going on right now, to be grateful for the present moment, to be grateful for the nature around her. Even if it's not perfect, even if she's not done everything she's meant to, she can still enjoy the present moment. That is a huge blessing for my pile number 3. One of your blessings is going to be your ability to feel gratitude and to be grounded and to enjoy the present moment. And that could lead to enjoying beautiful memories and new experiences with your friends and your family and your partner. It could be you having fun, doing things you love, meeting someone new, everything we've talked about, and that's beautiful. Let's see what else. Potential blessings for my pile number 3. What are the potential blessings? 4 of Cups. I mean, we've talked about it. Am I receiving peace? And look at this. This is peace. This is you quieting down the noise. You're removing yourself from the chaos of the world, the noise, people's opinion, like all the voices, all the chaos. You're cutting yourself off from that, and you're cultivating a sense of well-being. You're managing to feel at peace and to feel perfectly balanced in a world that sometimes feels like it's so noisy. And that's a blessing in itself. Being able to feel at peace, being able to feel well, being able to feel aligned in chaotic times is a huge blessing, you guys. And it's very much underrated, and yet it's so important. So that is beautiful and definitely summarizes everything we've talked about. I love that for you guys so much. Let's see an advice from your guides. Advice from your guides, the Magician. Oh, I love that, because from you taking care of yourself, from you taking a day off, from you focusing on your physical well-being and prioritizing things that are making you feel soothed and at peace, this will create a sense of power. That means that when you do want to go for things, when you do want to strive, when you do want to manifest, you'll have the energy for it. So if some of you have been feeling very much like you're struggling with the idea of slowing down, of resting, and you feel like, no, I should be doing things, I should be, being productive, I should be taking stuff off my to-do list. If that's something you've been struggling with, the Magician comes to say, hey, you know what? You've got time to do that once you're rested, once you feel soothed, once you feel at peace. Because this sense of inner peace, this sense of cultivating love in your life, this is going to be the fuel to you for manifesting what it is you want. So the Magician is there to really confirm that from taking care of yourself, slowing down, resting, taking care of your body, of your mental health, this is going to be the fuel for you to actually get what it is you want, to create magic, to manifest. And I love that so much. Okay, and we have the Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. This little witch creating ritual is inviting you to create ritual in your life. So in what ways can you invite little rituals, daily rituals in your day-to-day life? Maybe for some of you, it's making sure that every week you are ringing your family and cultivating love in that way. Maybe for some of you, it's making sure every week you're going for a walk in nature. Maybe for some of you, it's making sure that every day you're getting like a little bit of time to read, because that's what makes you feel good. I don't know, you guys are, everyone is different, obviously. Everyone is going to have different little rituals they want to implement. But I also see a big focus in the month of April around implementing little daily ritual that can be conducive to a sense of well-being as well. Okay, so let's have a look what you're invited to focus on, any focus area in your life that might be coming up. Look, we have nutrition, so we've talked about it, taking care of your body, making sure you're eating things that make you feel good, moving your body, taking care of your health, all of that, we've talked about it. This is a confirmation for my pile number 3. And the other focus area, and look, we have reading. I've been telling you from the beginning, you guys are giving me Hobbit cozy spring vibes, and I'm here for it. Taking time to do simple things. Read your favorite book. Invite yourself to a picnic or to a little coffee date. Bring your favorite book and enjoy an afternoon of doing nothing but reading. That is your homework, my pile number 3. I love that so much for you guys. Okay, a little self-care message and then we'll wrap things up. So, little self-care message for my pile number 3. We have breathe. Look. Let's take 3 deep breaths together. Find a pace that feels good for you. Exactly. You can take your time. You can rest. You can take a day off. You can pause, right? You don't have to strive. We've talked about it. This is the month where you're prioritizing well-being over achievement, and that's beautiful. We love that. Okay, let's wrap things up with a little affirmation from my best forgy friend. Let's see. What is your mantra? What is your affirmation, my panometry, for the month of April? Oh my gosh, you guys. I will prioritize myself when I need to. If this is not the perfect summary of everything we've talked about, I don't know what is, okay? This is so funny. It's like, yeah, we've heard you, universe. I think the message is clear. We've talked about it. That's your mantra for the month of April. I will prioritize myself when I need to. Beautiful. So my panometry, that's what I'm seeing for you guys. Thank you so much for letting me read the cards for you. If this reading brought you anything of value, if you enjoyed it, if it resonated, then I invite you to like, comment, subscribe. You can share with your friends. Those are all free ways to support my work, and it really helps my channel out. So thank you so much for those of you who take the time to do that. Thank you for your presence. Until my next video, I want to wish you a beautiful month of April. I'm sending you so much good vibes, and keep navigating the waves of your soul. Bye!